podcast where we share neutral and unbiased views of the Singapore property market from a fellow buyer and investor's point of view. In this episode, we will discuss what caused the deflation of Singapore's private home market. When we say deflation, we are talking about two things here. Firstly, who made us lose confidence and trust of what we are told from the market? Secondly, who should be responsible for the deflation of a possible market recovery? If you had been following my blog at publicshow.com, you would know that developers have been overstating the sales results of their new projects for long. After last July's cooling measures, it happened almost in every new launch, especially in the fourth quarter last year. On February 18, the truth was finally out when Credit Suisse published the report, Developers Pre-Sales More Than Meets the Eye. The report mentions the curious case of the rising number of returned units at new launches. Developers claimed that they sold a total of 602 private homes in December. The media shared the good news that December's year-on-year sales is 40% higher than 431 units taken up in the same month a year ago. But after ULA released the figures on new sales and returned units, the Credit Suisse analysts openly exposed the unusual spike in the number of returned units in December. Out of 602 units, 398 units or 66% were returned. That means only 204 units were sold for the whole month. Instead of a 40% growth, there is a drop of 53% in year-on-year sales. Well, what a drama. Guess who's the liar here? Developers are making use of the loophole that sales figures are based on voluntary submission with no counter-checking by the authority in any way. So they can anyhow issue options to purchase, let them lapse, and reissue again after the expiry in 3 weeks. By doing so, they can report as many closed deals as they like. The following months, they can conveniently report the lapsed option cases as returned units. This trick helps developers, their market agents, and the Western media to report impassive sales results to the public. They have data to prove that there is really pent-up demand from the market despite all the cooling measures. The Credit Suisse report said the high number of implied returned units is the emergence of an ingenious sales tactic adopted by some developers. It is courteous to use the word ingenious. Exaggerating sales numbers will fool potential buyers and the public into believing that new projects are selling well is in no way ingenious, but unethical and unscrupulous. Projects named by the Credit Suisse that report high number of returned units are Riverfront Residences, Park Colonial, Sterling Residences, Park Esther, and Wisner Grand. Their developers are Austin Holdings, Chip Insing, Lansing Group or Logging Property, MCL Land and CDL respectively. All but one developer answers the media why there is exceptionally high number of returned units in December. It is simply unconvincing to cite buyer remorse, financial hardship, cooling measures, and macro factors as the reasons. We know that buyers who return the booked units and fail to execute the sales and purchase agreement will lose 25% of the booking fee or 1.25% of the property's purchase price. For a 1.5 million property, the buyer will have to pay the developer a sum of $18,750. Can you believe that 66% of new home buyers in December are paying developers that much money because of change of mind or change of buyer's name, as explained by CDL's Group General Manager? For buyers who need more time to sort out their financing, figure out their affordability, or whether they have fulfilled their HDB minimum occupation period, they are obviously the budget-conscious and borderline buyers. How likely would they rush into the sales gallery to secure the early bird pricing and risk forfeiting a 5-figure booking fee? And what is the proportion of buyers who are unable to secure a loan from the bank after putting down a deposit? Since when the banks have suddenly tightened borrowing of housing loans? From last December? When the cat is out of the bag, it is interesting to see how the liars try to cover themselves. Last Thursday, ULA finally came out to say that they will adjust the monthly sales figures submitted by the developers based on the number of returned units, starting from January 2019 figures. But ULA and Square Foot have been reporting the number of returned units every month for years. Have ULA ever questioned why there are so many new sales and returned units every month and the number of returned units just get higher and higher? Is it the same department in ULA reporting the two figures of show units and returned units? Why ULA can continue to close one eye for so long? Would they continue to keep quiet if there was no such report from Credit Suisse and no article coverage in the local newspapers? Isn't it the responsibility of ULA to report accurate market data and proactively spot discrepancies and misleading data submitted by the industry stakeholders? After all, we are not China, where all official data from the government is released for the purpose of presenting a nice picture to the public, and to be picked up by the Western media that know nothing much about the real China. I have said in my November blog post, new launch returns units and 3 mysterious cases that there is high number of returned units in almost all the new projects from launch to October. Criminals get caught because they don't just do it once or twice. They do it over and over again, and each time in a bigger scale. Because there is greed in human nature and humans crave to see the repeat of their past success. But the liars are not very smart. If only developers had worked together and taken turns to overstate sales figures every month, nobody would have noticed it. If they don't let the number of returned units to add up to a ridiculous percentage in December, it wouldn't have aroused any suspicion and no one would come out to say anything. Remember a few months ago, property agency JLL said that there won't be any oversupply of private homes. The 54,000 units in the supply pipelines can be absorbed by the market as long as developers launch new projects in intervals and pace out their unsold stocks. But judging from the lack of cooperation among developers to spare out the returned units, you can bet that any effort from them to pace out new launches is just a dream. In fact, the industry stakeholders have not learned their lessons yet. They made the same mistake last year and unknowingly shattered the hope of a possible market recovery. When developers have set records in land auctions and on-board site acquisitions, new projects were launched at record prices per square foot. Owners took the hints to sell their resale units at higher prices. The industry stakeholders have successfully manipulated property prices and create a possible comeback of the private home market. Thanks for the handsome advertising dollars from developers. Our West media couldn't wait to cheer for the early recovery of the property market. Every week there was property news in the media, celebrating newly launched projects fully taken up in the first launch weekend. Any slight increase in the quarterly property price index of non-rented private residential properties was rejoiced by the industry stakeholders. The analysts support each other's forecast to predict a 12 to 20% jump in property prices in 2018. Unfortunately, the over-optimistic market sentiment gave a good excuse for the Monetary Authority of Singapore to warn the public that the property market has become euphoric. It is a perfect time for the government to jump in prematurely and kill any sign of a possible market recovery. The high ABSD and lower loan-to-value have successfully deflated developers' stomach for on-board sites, escalating private home prices, and an emerging property bubble. So, don't blame the Singapore government for being too harsh. The industry stakeholders have to understand that an unanimous celebratory mood doesn't help to convert the market. It only serves the purpose of contributing higher stamp duties and property taxes to inland revenue. Next time, stage a better stroke with at least 50-50 paying the good guys and bad guys. It's fine to cheer for possible recovery. It's also important to show some worries for possible challenges. Try to take a more balanced view and share some realistic forecasts. At least it helps to earn the credibility from potential buyers and people like us who still bother to read the property news. The new foreign residences in Hougang was launched over the weekend. This Monday, the Business Times reports that buyers have set up close to 60 units over the first launch weekend. But in reality, only 54 units out of a total of 1,410 units were sold. The take-up rate is a humble 3.8%. Hopefully, there are no returned units. The Edge Property article shows an impressive photo of buyers sitting inside a tent at the sales gallery, waiting for balloting. With 54 out of the 200 units released being taken up, the photo is very confusing. So is the crowd balloting for the units, or are the units balloting for the buyers? Do you think the developers, the property agencies, and the media have learned their lessons? Will they be smarter next time? Well, I'll leave the verdict to you. That's all I want to talk about for returned units. Remember to give a like for this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Take care and see you soon.